Mike, well, let's start with injury news firstly. Matty Dolan and in particular Matty Dolan and Priestley Farquharson, how are they doing and will they be available?
No, both out. I think, Priestley put a tweet out, so he's told everyone. So you know that one, he's out for the next 4 weeks. And Matty Dolan is obviously out with concussion.
It's Cambridge, a top 3 side, but you've already beaten recently a top 3 side in Bolton Wanderers, who have every reason to be confident.
Yeah, of course. Listen, they've had a remarkable season. I've got to be honest. They've been there or thereabouts. I know they had their blip as well. As I think nearly every team in the league has had that. But they've come back. And one thing they have got on their team is goals. They've got Paul Mullin, who's got 30 goals. That's an outstanding return for any level. And, it does make a massive difference.
Yeah, that's why every manager is after that sort of return from a player. But it's easier said than done recruiting a striker like that.
Yeah, and listen, if I like Paul. I like him as a lad as well. He's a very hard worker, team player, and hopefully he doesn't score tomorrow. I want him to have a quiet day, but he deserves everything he gets because listen, he's been around for a while now, and he's somebody who always wears his heart on the sleeve, and look, he's getting his rewards for hard work.
How do you approach facing a striker that much in form? Do you put extra provisions, extra plans in place to try and deal with him?
No. Listen, you can't worry about just one player. They got a lot of good players. Cambridge, that's why they're doing so well. It's going to be a tough game. We need to be on it. It's all the old cliches. We need to win our battles, first balls, second balls, take our chances, no mistakes. Listen, I can sit here or stand here till I'm blue in the face and tell you all that. I'll say it all before the game. I'll say it now. If we do all that, we'll win the game. If we don't, then we might as well toss a coin.
One thing I do want to ask you is after the draw with Carlisle, their manager, Chris Beach, had a few things to say. He sort of accused your players of working the referee and singled out Joss Labadie in particular. Was that a bit out of order from him and from his point of view?
I'm not interested in anything Chris Beach got to say.
4 of the last 6 games now, huge games coming up. 4 of them are at home. Does that make a difference when there aren't any fans? Does it make little difference, or are they home and away practically the same thing these days?
Listen, you've got to factor in the travelling and things like that. It's still, of course, it's still an advantage for a home team. Not as much. We'd love the partisan crowd behind us. The atmosphere, because I'm sure there'd be a good crowd in, especially for tomorrow's game. It's not to be, but every club around the country are having to deal with that. So it's not just that it affects us; it affects them as well. We got to be at it. We've got a decent home record. It's always been a fortress, and hopefully we can keep it that way till the end of the season.
How many of those 6 games do you think it'll take to win to be able to get into the playoffs? How many wins do you think you need out of those 6?
Listen, it's a crystal ball, Simon, if I'm honest. But I'll tell you this now, that we need to win tomorrow so we can think about catching Cambridge in 3rd. So I'm not just thinking about the playoffs, if I'm honest. And if any of the players are, they will be fully reminded.
Yeah, because it's not unsurmountable, is it, to reach those top 3 places?
No, listen, nerves come into it for teams. Loss of form, injuries, tough places to go, teams at the other end of the table fighting for their lives. There's no givens in this league, and as you've seen, it's been a strange year. Everybody's capable. Southend beat us, then they beat Forest Green. They were down and out. Barrow went on a run, won a load of games. They beat us. They beat Exeter. we beat Bolton when they were supposedly unbeatable. So anybody beats anybody on the day, and we've got to make sure that we have 6 days.
Good luck for tomorrow, Mike.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Mike, on that front, it's interesting because I'm a pessimist on that. I'd take a point at certain stages against top teams, and on Tuesday it was a solid point, but the boys were still going. It's knowing when to gamble as well, isn't it? Like, you were really pushing at the end as well in injury time. So.
Yeah, listen, I'll always try and win a game. I'm not one of these to really shut up shop. I have done it. Don't get me wrong. I have done it at important times of the game. But Tuesday night I felt we were in the ascendancy. We were finishing the better. We were finishing the stronger. And I thought that if we could just get one more clear-cut chance, we'd nick it at the death. And it wasn't to be. Carlisle were very good first half. Like I said, they their goalkeeper launches it a mile. They've got pace and power. They build on the second balls. They pressurise you. They keep you in your half, and they look to counter-attack you at any opportunity. So they're very good at what they do. Just because Chris has said a few things about this, that doesn't. I'm not going to turn away from what I said after the game. They're good at what they do, and they've got a lot of pace and power. And at any level, that helps you. And possibly one thing that we're missing.
In terms of that, sort of, I guess it's once again it's a cliche, but if you try and hold on to draws, that's when you're a danger anyway, isn't it? You're inviting trouble, aren't you?
The only thing I'll try and hold on to is a win. I'll never try and hold on to a draw. Like I said, those 2 points, extra 2 points, could be valuable. Yeah. But listen, we'll find out at the end of the season what will be. What I will say is, if we were mid-table and then finishing in the playoffs, it'd be the unbelievable season, amazing, because we were top. The expectation, dropped down a bit. It's disappointing to some people. I can see it, the logic, but at the end of the day, the end goal was to stay in the league. We've done that, and now anything that we can kick on with, if we get in the playoffs, is an unbelievable achievement. If we manage to get third, then it's almost like a lottery win.
With Matty, is he still going through the protocols, or will he be all right for Crawley and Exeter, or is that still in the balance?
Crawley is 50-50. Just need to check with the medical staff, but he's he will be available on the amount of days for Crawley, but whether or not I throw him straight in is I've got to think of the players' health and safety as well. So it's out of our hands. Missing Priestley is big because we're having to put Scott Bennett back there, and we miss him in midfield. It's a bit frustrating because I wanted everybody fit to the end of the season, and it's not to be at the minute.
On that front, is Joe Ledley the most like for Matty? If you were to stick with three at the back?
No.
Okay. So is that not? Well, I know you don't like to, you're never one for giving away teams or anything, but your options, I guess, are four at the back, or David Longking,
or somebody else.
Okay. Yes. I'm trying to rattle through. Yeah.
Listen to the manager. I know. Listen to the manager.
Well, just
it's brilliant. I know what he's been doing. He's been on Football Manager, the county message boards or whatever they are.
Oh, I don't have time for that.
I'm waiting for a Luke Gambing question in a minute.
Oh, there we are. Yeah, we'll get him in. No, I was just trying to get it because obviously Joe made his through Matty going off again the story, and he went in there, didn't he? But
it's a different type of game, Chris, to be honest. The pitch was unbelievable. We thought Joe could slot in there. We were fully in control at that point as well. So, it's going to be a different game tomorrow. It's going to be a completely different game.
On the sort of housekeeping thing, is Ryan Haynes still a frustrating one? Is he available, or is he still on his...
Why don't you just write it all down? Don't bother printing in the paper. Send it to Cambridge. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Haynes is available. There you go.
Oh, there we are. All good. Yes.
I said this last time though when he broke down. So I'm never ever telling you again.
Oh no, exactly. It's different being available and being in the team's a different thing, though. So
I've got to be honest. It's only because you three are here and you've been good to me, so I'll try and give you as much as I can.
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
In terms of other stuff that you got Nick Townsend done, I presume you're working your way through that while trying to do a promotion charge as well, I guess.
Yeah, listen, we've been working on it for a couple of months. On I think there's 5 offers gone out so far, and then hopefully now next week get a couple more out. Not all 5 have accepted. Obviously, it would have been announced, but we're trying. And it's some will leave, some will stay. It's one of them, and it's down to the individuals to think that Newport's the right place for them to be and to progress. And it's one of them, really.
The nature of League Two as well. Well, and League One. It's all clubs are going through this, isn't it? The squad sort of there's big turnover or question marks over players every year, isn't it? Because of financial aspects. It's tricky.
And it's probably gonna be a little bit worse this year, I think. But look, if players want to take gambles, that's their own prerogative. Especially when they start approaching 30, 31, 32. The easiest way my advice would be sign your contract, keep ticking the years off. If somebody wants you, they'll find a way of getting you. Whether that be a small fee or a deal with the club or whatever it is. If somebody wants you that much, then they'll find a way to do it.
All good. Finally for me, Luke Gambin. Cheers, Mike.
So are Mickey and Dave Blanking playing a 3 or a 4 at the back, or are you going to go 5 to the back? And is it Podge or Ryan Taylor up front? And will Joe sit in the middle? Yeah,
all 3 of them, Rob.
Right, okay. As long as you can do that. I get the Cambridge bloke now. Yeah. You talk now about the number of games left. It's remarkable you've got to this stage, given what's happened, isn't it? I mean, did you ever feel that there wasn't maybe going to be a season at all at one stage?
Yeah, especially at the beginning. Through the off season, last, a lot of difficult decisions, a lot of frustrated chats with the board, myself, etc., players, and it's been a really, really difficult season to plan. I didn't sign a player until really late. You do start fearing the worst, but thankfully we're okay. We're in a good financial position, and we are safe in League Two. So it's not all been doom and gloom.
No, and sometimes it's a lot more than where you finish on the ladder. It's about how people are within your squad, how financially you are, and football, I think, deserves a huge amount of credit for what's happened or what part it's played during lockdown.
Yeah, 100%, Rob. It's helped no end of people across the world. Even the ones who are moaning, I think, is helping them moan.
Yeah.
And get things off their chest, so to speak. As long as they do it in the right way and respectful, they're more than entitled to moan. It's when they start being abusive, racist, homophobic, then they're not worth the paper it's written on. And that's why it needs to be stopped, all the abuse on social media. So, yeah, it's helped people, the amount of people I've bumped into, keep it going, all good spirits, lovely things to say, about one or two, a couple of things, you should be doing this. And that's fine. As long as it's said in the right way. I'm not somebody who's not approachable. I talk to everybody, as long as they do it respectfully. And if it gets something off their chest for 5 minutes and they can go away feeling a little bit refreshed, then great.
Well, as a manager, you're used to being a counsellor, aren't you?
Yeah, tell me about it. And a parent. It's a number of roles. As you know, we've spoken about it before. It's you've got to have an understanding of everything these days.
But it's, it's incredible, as you keep saying, and some people listen, some people that you are still in this position, because at the start of the season, you set out your stall and, going up is the main thing. But it is for many clubs, it's a pipe dream, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, you look at the teams up there, thereabouts. You've got the big hitters who are expected to be there, in the top 10. You've also got the likes of Morecambe, who have had a fantastic season. They've been brilliant. They've been refreshing for the league, to be honest, because I remember when we got in the playoffs and we had the low budget as well. One of the lowest, which probably Morecambe have got. So I can't say what a job we've done without saying what a job Derek Adams has done there as well. It's you've got to give credit where it's due, and they've been a match for every time you think they lose a game, that could be the end of them. No chance. They've got a tough fighting spirit, which they've always had. From Jim Bentley days as well. So yeah, they've been the surprise package, really.
Sorry, people talk about the Championship being the toughest league in the world, but surely this is the hardest league to get out of, isn't it? So many clubs, so little difference between top and bottom. And when you look at all the machinations in the top half, even coming down to now, the small gaps and who's beating who, I think this is as tough as any league, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. And like I've said it before, on any given day, these players can raise their levels to beat a Premier League team, to beat a Championship team. The reason why most of them, or a lot of them, are at this level is because their consistency. They're not consistent. Yeah. For a season or 2 seasons in a row. It's shorter bursts of consistency. Because they all got ability. They're all technically, capable. And yes, of course, there's a lot of different other things you can add to that. But if they are consistent throughout the season, then you've got a hell of a chance of being there or thereabouts at the end of the season. So, yeah, it's really tough, Rob. It's tough. Obviously the pitches they hamper teams, injuries, smaller squads. It's loads of other factors that add.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be a different manager next season because of the experience over the last season and a half?
Yeah, listen, I hope I am, because it means I'm improving. I don't want to stop still. Like I've told you this before, Lenny used to say, if you stand still in football, you're going, well, in life, you're going backwards. So yeah, I want to be slightly different, because that means I've improved.
Yeah. Coming to the 2 Cambridge games, I mean, I remember I can't remember which tournament it was when they came to you first, the first start of the season. They did pretty well. Yeah, and then obviously you went there. The first team to beat you, I think, when you went there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you look at those 2 performances, and will that have any bearing on this weekend?
No, both are relevant. We were absolutely outstanding at home. Yeah, played them off the park for 90 minutes. They rested a few players. We had a few players that I wish we had now. The pitch was pristine. Down there, the pitch was waterlogged. They should have had a man sent off. They took the lead deservedly. We got back into it. So yeah, it's absolutely nothing. I won't be taking anything from them apart from Paul Mullin will score if you give him a chance.
Yeah. Well, you go and jump on him, and if you just tell us what the back 4 is, that we're 5 or 3 or whatever, it would help,
Only 6 tomorrow.
6. Great, thanks, fella.